So welcome to another episode of Pieces of Jesus. And do you know what? I've been looking forward to this one. No pressure, no pressure. But this is a dear friend of mine. We met Philip Moran and we went through working together quite a lot. And we had different situations that we had to deal with. And all I will say is this lady is amazing. She doesn't realise the patience she has and the heart she has, especially for young people. She's, a real role model and an amazing mum as well. Just got Soph with us this evening. How you doing, Sophie? Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
Good.
Yeah.
It's lovely to have you on. As I say, it's been over a year now since I saw you.
I know. And you know what? Philip Moran still doesn't feel the same. It's
You know what to say.
you still left that little vacuum and you still have some of the students mentioning it. Where's young Mr. Green? No, the young one.
Yeah, to which the other Mr. Green, I'm sure, really appreciates it. But no, it's all good. It's all good. And just to have an impact in people's lives is what it's all about. And we're here to talk about yours. So although we work together, you don't really get the opportunity to speak about your faith to one another. You don't get those opportunities, and you also have to be careful what you say. You know, you don't want to be seen to be influencing anyone either. So it can be a difficult place in that aspect. But
and like I said to you, because I worked in a bar quite a few years ago. One of the taboo subjects is religion, anyways, because it can raise conflicts and all that, and no one wants to feel like it's thrown in their face and stuff like that. So you learn very quickly. You know what? Actually, everyone does their own things. So, and which I think part of the faith is accepting everyone for their own beliefs and all that. It's acceptance. It should be at the basis of everything, but you kind of learn not to really talk about it, so it doesn't come up in conversations anymore.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, as you say, if you kind of know that you can't really talk about it, it doesn't even cross your mind. I was in a good position where I was helping with the prayer room, so I had the opportunity to have those conversations with the kids about prayer and their faith, and they wanted to know a bit about my journey, and that's a safe place to be able to do it. Obviously not telling them everything, but but you tell them what you can tell them, and sort of guide them along the way if that's something they're interested in. But yeah, when did it all start for you? Have you always been a Christian, or?
I was born into it. So my family are Christian. So from birth, basically, it's always been going through the faith. I've done my first communion. I've done all of that, and it was growing. I went to a Christian school for a good number of years. It helped a lot as well because my father was a diplomat. We traveled a lot growing up. So having that faith, having that bit of an anchor, having that community as well, where every Sunday you kind of meet up, you know who your community is, it was always a grounding point for us growing up. Because it doesn't matter where you are in the world, the Bible remained the same. The community, to a lot of degrees, is the same as well. So when you're growing up in kind of and you travel every 3 years, it's a lifeline almost.
Yeah. So was that difficult then, moving all the time?
Growing up, I hated it. Looking back, I realized how lucky I was because I was exposed to so many different cultures, languages, countries, and all that. And it's an opportunity that you don't get. And it broadens your mind so much. Like I said, to me, faith is really the basis of it is acceptance. It's not just forgiveness, but acceptance should really be up there. And traveling so much, you learn to accept it. I mean, we were in Sudan when the civil war started, so some of my formative years were through that, and it's a Muslim country. You know, our helps were Muslims, and they taught us Arabic, and they taught us about their faith. They respected ours as well, and
Mhm.
as a return, we respected theirs too. And then I remember there was kind of like there was a conflict, and we rescued some children, and one of them had got hit, had a bullet wound, and uh,
Yeah.
and and he was just like asking us so many questions. So he must have been about maybe 8 or 9,
Mhm.
and I was about 6 at the time. And yeah, and we were just like so excited. As kids are, innocent, there's no walls, there's no, everything just flows as a conversation. So yeah, I pretty much grew up with it. And yeah, but it's only as an adult that I realized actually how lucky I was to have had that upbringing.
Yeah. Do you feel that's molded you into the person you are now?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I think I see a lot of people that haven't had the luck of traveling so much. And I don't mean the holiday travels. I mean traveling where you live. And
Mhm.
and a lot of them are the people that are going to have a comment about one thing or another. And it's just like, but actually, have you been in that country to know where it's at? Have you talked to those people to understand where they're coming from, where their backgrounds is, and all
Mhm.
that? And it's really has taught me to kind of take a step back and be like, what is it like for them?
Yeah.
It,
Yeah.
so it has really helped me become who I am now.
So you then obviously came over here, and
Yes.
where did it kind of where did you find your own journey, as it were? Because obviously you were kind of living in a weird kind of way, like Dad's life, because obviously Dad was traveling. You were almost where Dad goes, everyone else goes. So when you started your own journey, it's obviously very must have been
So
quite daunting to think, right now I'm on my own type thing.
not really, because my own journey started, I was very young. I was probably 13 at the time, where I became hyper independent. So I found a job. I was doing my studies. I did my baccalaureate whilst I was doing subsequently side by side my A levels in
Mhm.
Australian international school. So it started very early. I had amazing friends, um, some of which I'm still friends with, some of which are still kind of like, I class them as extended families, really. And,
Yeah.
they bolstered me through that. And then at the grand age of 18, I moved over here and, kind of made my own rules from there. Admittedly, I wasn't always like the little angel. you know, I was a young adult at the end of the day, and growing up like in South Africa, a lot of things were restricted. So all
Yeah.
of a sudden, you
Yeah.
come to a country where you can walk at night, you can take a taxi, you can do all those things that you couldn't actually do. Well, I did take advantage of it, and eventually I calmed down. And Brightland Sea has been, again, kind of a community where
Mhm.
it's still allowed me to come into my own person while still having my faith, and not feeling like I was imposing. People were curious, they were welcoming, and all that. There was never kind of that kind of, oh, well, why are you still talking about this? Why are you talking about religion? Why are you talking about faith? Why are you talking about forgiveness, acceptance, those kind of things? They were just like, oh yeah, by the way, have you seen this? Have you done this? Have you done that? Have you tried this? Oh, if you join that community, that might actually help you find your like path, and they might be able to help you.
Mhm.
So yeah, I started my own journey very young, and I kept it going. Where it was like, I kept going to church and I kept my prayers. Eventually, I must admit that the church every Sunday slowed down. And a few years back, well, about 7 years now, yeah, I lost my best friend, and I did lose my faith at that point
Mhm.
for a long while. I could not accept that this was part of grand plan. I could not accept that it was kind of like what what was needed and things like that. She was the most amazing person. She wanted to be a lawyer for the UN, again a Christian as well, and she kind of like she was the other side of my coin, if that makes sense. We just
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, it just
and
clicked.
losing her meant I lost my faith for a long while, and at the same time that was and before that happened as well, I had been told that medically I'd never have children. That would never be a possibility. And well, I've got two now,
Yeah.
16 months apart as well. So
So
um
something happened there, didn't it? Do you know
so
what I mean?
but yeah, no, so I lost my faith, and that came back. And I remember the exact moment where I was like, why did I lose it? You know, where you have that recognition where you're like, why did I doubt it?
Mhm.
And I separated from my children's dad. And I remember having had a really, really hard day. The kids were both under two when I became a single mom. And I had a really, really hard day. And then my daughter struggled to sleep through the night, and she came in my bed. She just crawled onto me in bed, and she cuddled up. And my son shortly followed up, and he gave me a kiss. And in his kind of 2 years old toddly voice, he was like, "You're loved, mummy. Maybe not by all of us, but you're loved, mummy." And that kind of like clicked something in me and in my heart. And I was just like, oh, okay, yeah. And then I renewed it and kind of like, I don't know if it's all there, but I know that it's it's stronger than it was before, if that
Mhm.
makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. Did you feel? Don't want
Connected.
to go too deep with you here, but did you feel unloved? You know, you'd lost your friend, like one of your best friends. You know, obviously you had you've been through your difficult time with the kid's dad. You know, you'd been through that time of being on your own as well. Did you feel sort of unloved at that time? You know, because those words are so
No.
powerful, aren't they? Especially from your kids. You know, they
Yeah.
can turn a day round, can't they? They
Yeah.
can really turn the day round.
Yeah, they can. I mean, they can be, mind my language, they can be little turds during the day, and then they'll just blow a kiss or do something, and you'll just like, I'll forgive you.
That's it. That's it.
um,
Yeah.
those kids, like, that's the essence of them. Um, no, I didn't feel unloved. I felt lonely.
Okay.
I
Like
had
like a void
Yeah,
almost.
yeah, exactly. I had a multitude of different people. I had a support network with the children. My family was still on the phone. I had my friends were around. My kids had a better social life than I did. So we always had things to do. But amongst all of this, I just felt so alone
Mm,
that, to me at that point, after she passed, to me at that point it was like, there is no way there can be an entity that says they love everyone and takes away something so precious, that you feel that loneliness so deeply anchored in your soul.
mhm.
That's kind of what, I think that's kind of what made me go, no, actually, and that's where I started doubting my faith, and kind of like, because it was that feeling of loneliness, really.
Don't get me wrong. We've all been there in different situations. You know, I lost my friend a couple of years ago, and he was he was only, you know, in his 40s, and it kind of, we knew it was going to kind of happen at some point, but this sort of turned quite quickly. And even though you know something's going to happen, you still don't want it to happen. You know, it's because you know it's going to happen doesn't make it any easier, basically. And
no. Well, we didn't know with her.
which makes it even harder, doesn't it?
Yeah, she travelled to go and meet her other half who lives in Manchester. And it was the first holiday where she came over to England where we didn't get a chance to meet up. And she went back and she messaged me. I mean, the whole time we were messaging and talking on the phone and everything. And she went back and she said to me, "Oh, I'm feeling a bit under the weather. I'm like a bit of a cold and all that." And then the kids were having their bath and they were like, "Oh, mummy, can we talk to Auntie Gabby? Can we talk? Can we call her?" So I was like, okay, fine. They wanted basically to show her the bubble tricks that they wanted to do. So I tried to call and her cousin answered and told me the news. And basically that day she'd gone to the doctors and she didn't walk back out.
Oh, man.
So it was very sudden. It was very, very sudden. Because the age of the kids and where I was at and all that, I didn't get a chance to travel to South Africa to say my goodbyes, to pay my respects or anything like that. And I think that didn't help because there wasn't that true closure. I was present. Her cousin called me and we video streamed together the entirety of the funeral. I wrote her eulogy as well. So and that got read to the congregation. So in a way I was present, but it just didn't feel the same.
Yeah. No, of course, of course. But as I say, it's I think although it's difficult losing someone, and it's heartbreaking, it really is. It's that I look at things so differently now because of my faith. I look at it as I had the opportunity to spend time with them. I had, you know, they were in my life, and I think that's the thing I hold on to, and God almost gives me to say, look, I know you're an emotional man, and I know you have to deal with those things. You know, I worked in care work for a long time. I worked end of life, you know, and even though they're not your relatives and they're not, you know, people
You still care.
yeah, and it takes a piece of you each time.
Absolutely.
And God just somehow in that moment found a strength. He put a strength in me and a comfort to say, just keep being you. Just keep. It's okay. You know, keep being you. And yeah, and I think that's what he does to us. He installs that into us to say, look, you knew them. Don't forget them, but you know, live the best way you can. You know, be the light for others. You know, she was a light to you, and now you have the opportunity to be a light for others as well. You know, I know you certainly do with your kids, and as I say, you know, you do with a lot of other people's kids as well. And
I try, and
well,
to
this
be
is it.
fair,
No one's perfect. No
no,
one's perfect, and
no,
that's the beauty. That's the beauty of God. Is
it's
He
something.
knows you're not perfect. You look at all the people that Jesus picked in the Bible. He never walked around going, God, you know what? I'm going to have all the best ones. I'm going to go for all the highest academics. That's nothing to people who are high academics. Nothing there. But you point around going, I'd have the best of the crop. He went for people. He went for a tax collector. They were hated. He went for people that were fishermen. He went for, you know, he went for those casual people, and that was the beauty of it. And I think he's still doing it now. You know, the people he uses, the stories they have, like your story, will resonate with so many people with loss, being a single parent. You know, the travel and you know, you just have this, as I say, this thing about you that just oozes a light onto others, and I think that's God given. That is God given, and I know you hit that bump in a road, but I just want you to know that, you know, that bump in a road also builds you to, you know, there's seasons, isn't there? You go through good, you go through bad. Nothing lasts forever. You know, you go on to the next thing, and yeah, I think
it's
yeah,
part of the conversation I had and with some friends, and that's always kind of stayed with me, where they said, you know, at the end of the day, there's if everything was always good, nothing would be good. You need the bad to
yeah,
realize what you
yeah,
had and what you have. And I think it's something a lot of people lose sight of.
hmm
You know, especially those who suffer from mental health issues, which by all means, I'm not saying this is kind of like, oh, this is going to resolve everything you do, but we get stuck in that cycle of negativeness that eventually, when we see even the smallest bright light, it's like all of a sudden it's like, is everything fixed and all that? Oh my God, how am I going to hang on to this? Instead
hmm
of being like, you know what, if I didn't have that period of darkness, how would I
yeah,
recognize this was light?
yeah, yeah,
And you need that in your life. You do need those dark times, and some of them are more trying than others, and some people need more help than others to kind of get to the other side. But I remember that one sentence that remained with me, and as a mental health sufferer myself, and with someone as someone who has a lot of faith as well, it's how does it go? If you went to bed and you survived, if you went to bed and woke up the next day, then you survived 100% of your bad days.
yeah, yeah,
And it's how I try to wake up every single day. It's like, hey, I'm a survivor. I've done another day. Let's do this again.
yeah, yeah. And as I say, like, I every morning I wake up, I have sort of morning routine. I think we all have our like little morning, you know, routines that we
Yes.
go through. But I literally say thanks every morning for the last day, even if there was something difficult in it, or an obstacle that I had, or a phone call that sort of miffed me off slightly. I'll move into the next day. I thank God for that day, and I say, right, what do you want me to do today? Where do you want me to be today? What conversations am
Yes.
I going to have today? And
See, I do that at the end of the day,
yeah,
and I found whilst I was working. So I know we're summer holidays, so at the moment I'm enjoying the time.
all right, all
But
right, rub
just to
it
rub
in.
it in, like
Yeah,
just a little bit. But at work, I have I work with a teacher planner because it helps me keep organized with the amount of things I've got to get through, and I there is a little section in my teacher planner which is something to make you smile, something to remember, and something academic. And they've got those little sayings, and underneath I always add at least two things I've been grateful for
yeah,
through my work day. And then when I start the day the next day, then it's like, oh, so I was grateful for this and that. Oh, okay. So, and then it prepares me again for the next day, where,
yeah,
and towards period five, towards the end of period five, I'll take my planner out and I'll be like, okay, so I'm grateful for one, two, three things. Sometimes it's just going to be one thing, and it's going to be something so basics like, oh, I'm grateful for the salad I had at lunch. By the way, our catering team is amazing, as you
yeah.
know.
I
So
have to say I did roll past that canteen several times, and it was yeah,
oh, you walk past in the
it
morning. I mean,
it was so bad. It was good. You know, that place.
But
But
I
no,
mean, at the time where I start, and you get there at quarter to 7 in the morning, and you have the smell of the bacon sarnies that are getting ready, so the bacon and all that, you're just like, oh my word, and the
yeah,
pastries as well starting being baked. Oh. But yeah, no. So sometimes it can be something as small as that, or I'm grateful my pen didn't run out of ink.
yeah, yeah.
It can be,
It's counting your blessings, isn't it? It's counting
yeah.
your blessings. We
It's
take advantage
just
of the small things, even though
exactly.
they make a big difference throughout the day.
Yeah.
And
And then and you can have an absolutely horrible day, but if you know that you can be grateful for one little thing, then it's not such a horrible day.
yeah,
And then the next day when you come in, because it's a reset, so it's a brand new day, you can look at it and you'll be like, okay, so I wasn't having a good time. Let's move on from that. Let's start again. Head down, let's go.
yeah, yeah. So what advice, um I suppose it's advice really, would you give to someone that has gone through that time of of losing their faith as such? You know, how do you sort of look back and reflect on it? Do you think actually I kind of, my faith was still there, but I almost put it on the back burner because I almost, you know,
I'd
I,
say to them, roll with it. Don't fight it. Don't question it. So just accept it. Accept this is where you are at right now. If you lose your faith, that means there is a trauma that has happened in your life big enough to make you lose it. So if you start questioning something that's fundamentally ingrained in your heart and in your soul, it's just going to make it worse. So my biggest advice is don't question it, roll with it, because you never know when is that day you will wake up and you will be like, I never actually lost it. It was,
yeah,
well, I lost myself and I've now found myself again.
yeah, yeah,
So roll with it. Don't question it. Just go with the flow. It's it's just it is meant to be that way. You are needing to lose that faith because you are needing to heal from something else, and don't force it. A lot of people that I've come across that are in those periods of faith, of losing faith, they try to force it by trying to force um kind of like praying or going to church, and they're like, and it kind of puts up a bigger wall. Don't force it. I can promise you on everything that I know and that I've been through, that no matter how lost you feel, eventually you will find your path again.
yeah, yeah. I think it's almost like it's the wilderness, isn't it? You almost find yourself in a wilderness,
Yeah.
and you feel lost, and you think, people have said to me, it's come up a few times this week, is you can't see, when you're in the middle of the forest, you can't see through the trees. You
Yeah.
almost need to be on the outside to see what's going in, to see
Exactly.
your
So
path. But
you're going to need to fumble your way through. And
yeah,
sometimes you'll hit a tree, and that tree, and sometimes you'll fall in a ditch and it'll make things worse. But eventually that forest ends.
yeah, yeah. There's a season. Yeah,
Yeah. So
100%.
for me, the picture I described it as was being stuck in the center of a hurricane. So there was that kind of like calm peace as the heart of the hurricane is, and then there was wind, chaos, everything, and I couldn't see a way through. And then when I finally was just like, you know what, I give up, I've had enough, I give up, and I kind of went through with the wind, I found myself on the other side.
Yeah, yeah,
Without even realizing what happened, I was on the other side. So yeah, no, just go with it, fumble your way through. You will get lost and you will get right through a lot more, but eventually you will always find your path, and it will
yeah,
change you. It will never ever be the same. So if you are looking to go back in the past, you will be disappointed because it will be a growth. It
Yeah,
will always be a
I think,
grace.
I think you can. Yeah, as you say, you can find the path again, but you may have a different approach to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You kind of you change because obviously things have changed in your life. It's another part of your testimony. It's another part of who you are, and you know, I always found myself to get through something is to pray through something. You know, everyone's going to have a different way of dealing with things, and you know, I think people deal with things differently. You know, all the time,
No, they
don't they?
do. They do.
And yeah, I
You
think
shouldn't you shouldn't beat yourself up either. So many people beat themselves up because they feel like they let down their faith and their community and their congregations when that happens. And it's just like, no, don't. Lay on them, rely on them, because most of the time, all of them have gone through something similar, and
yeah,
they won't be able to lead you out the forest, but they will be able to say, oh, watch out, that tree's coming there.
yeah,
Let
yeah,
us help
yeah.
you go around it.
Yeah, it's surrounding yourself with the right people, isn't it? Because we can easily, you know, I obviously went through a tough time, like a long time ago now, and I tried to find it in the bottom of a bottle, you know, and that was my way of trying to deal with it. And the thing is, actually, all I needed to do was surround myself with the right people, because the right people had the right intentions. You know,
Yeah.
you surround yourself in that environment, then you become that environment. You know,
Yeah.
that's the thing. And I think God's been so gracious to me, and He's taught me when I've been an absolute plank. To be perfectly honest, you know, I've been one of those people where I've been, you know, he has to make things very obvious for me. You
Mm.
know, he has to almost go, look, Joel, you know, I'm going to hang a massive sign from the ceiling, and you're going to smash your face into it, and that's the way you're going to understand. And I'll go, right, okay, yeah, that's fine.
It kind of
And
makes me think of Bruce Almighty.
100%, 100%, and I think that's how it is. I think Sophie's probably just got a call. Bear with her a minute. Um, so I think she'll be back in a sec. But yeah, I think that's kind of that's kind of where it's at. You know, Sophie's clearly been on a journey. She's had that heartbreak of losing a friend. She's been through difficult times herself, and you know, oh, hang on a second. Oh, she's just on the phone. She'll be back with us in a minute. So, yeah, she's been through that difficult time, and you know, she's recognised her faith again. And I think the beauty of it is, and I'll keep going back to this, guys, I know I do, is the footprints in the sand. It's been the biggest picture for me this week. And it's literally the one set of footprints, and God's been carrying you the whole time when you've questioned where He is, and actually He's been the one holding us up. He's the one that's been getting us through that time. And yeah, as I say, there's seasons for things. You know, you go through good times. You know, they're not going to last. You're going to go through bad times, but they're also not going to last as well. And it's all part of the building process of making you who you are, and part of your testimony, part of your journey. So keep your eyes fixed on Him, and you know, that is the way. You know, that is the way to live. And yeah, I'm testament to that as well. I've got an amazing wife. I've got amazing kids, and it's been an amazing journey. And yeah, it's incredible. So hopefully, Soph will pop back on at some point. But as I say, it's just been one of those times, and it's good to see that she's got her faith back. And she's been a real example and guiding light to the kids in the school, and yeah, doing her bit. It's showing people Jesus without, you know, you don't necessarily have to preach it, you live it. And that's what Sophie does in the school environment. While I'm waiting for her to come back, I will just pray for her, and the kids. And yeah, if she pops back in, that's great. If she doesn't, she'll catch up with this. So yeah, Lord, we just want to thank you. We want to thank you for Sophie. We want to thank you for her life, for the journey that she's been on. We want to thank you for her family and her friends. Lord, we pray that one day she gets to see her friend again. Lord, and we just thank you for her life. But we just want to bless Sophie, and that she continues to do the good work in school. She continues to have the strength to come home to be an amazing parent and a guide for her children. Lord, we just pray that she continues to light her house up with her faith, and to those she comes in contact with. There's good times ahead, Lord, and we just pray this in your almighty name. So yeah, Lord, we thank you for this time, and yeah, bless her, Lord. Amen. So yeah, thank you very much, everyone. I think Sophie's stuck on a call, but yeah, hit the subscribe button and let's spread the word of Jesus out there, and I'll catch up with you very soon. So take care and God bless. See you soon.